Hi there, beautiful soul. This YouTube movie is about my experience and how I look at the lightning process. When in 2017 my health started improving a little bit because I learned how to silence my mind and how to save that energy from my mind for recovery, I had a health coach, and she actually introduced me with the lightning process. And for a long time on my website and on my YouTube channel, I made a movie about the lightning process, not being really honest and clear about what it actually is. What is the lightning process? And what was it for me? So I'd like to fill in that gap. And as you probably see, I've removed all the other videos from the lightning process, and on my website I don't even recommend it anymore. So sorry, Phil. So I had to buy this audio file, and in the audio file basically it was like 2 hours or 3 hours stories of people who recovered, and if they can do it, I can do it. So I don't know if these stories were true, but it sort of got me in a different vibe. It got me in a different mood. And I was very hopeful for the first time in a long time, hopeful to find recovery. And then I bought the course. I paid £750 for it 4 years ago. And later I found out that Phil got 250 from that money, and the instructor got 500. And on top of that, the instructor also had to pay a license for each country that he wanted to sell, let's say, the process. And not in every country. I think he said like that in every country the license was more or less the same. Doesn't matter if it's like Belgium or like England, that is much bigger. So that's why he stopped having the license for the Netherlands, and he only had the license for England. Then we drove all the way there. I was still feeling pretty miserable, and 2 days I heard stories about NLP, how you talk to yourself, stories about beliefs, stories about other people recovering, stories about the nervous system story, where you have to, enter the rest and digest mode of the nervous system. But it wasn't really clear what that meant to me at the time. I don't think that was clear to them actually. And so lots of stories, and I thought those healing stories, and if they can do it, then I can do it. Those were from the practitioner. But later on, I bought the book. You get the life you love now, and basically everything that the instructor said is written in this book. So the stories were not his. I don't even know if they're real, but they're nice stories anyway. And I got in a different mood. I got helpful, and to my surprise, I was able to make it through the course, through the day, through the first day, the second day. But there was basically just a lot of stories in the first 2 days to get my hopes up, and then in the third day, we did the process. I think we actually ended with the process on the second day, and really got into it in the third day, where I had to use this active reimagination and language to sort of get a self-hypnosis state, and to reprogram the programs that are in my body, and to make different modes the automatic state. And basically he told me that sort of negative emotions, just stop it, because they activate the fight or flight mechanism of the nervous system, and we use some happy stuff instead, like calm stuff and happy stuff. It was not really clear for me what calming down the nervous system was, as I used it as well in the course for things to feed my adrenaline addiction with, like exciting things, that makes me excited. And they were not really clear that like what I know right now, that is really not helpful, because we need to calm down, and then we can build up that pathway of the rest and digest mode. So in the sales pitch, they say 80% of the people improve, most of them recover. I don't know if that is true, because at the end of the third day, they ask me and say, Daniel, are you still ill? And I said, yes. No, they said. Another time, are you still ill? Yes. No. And then the third time, are you still ill? No. And then I got home, I got excited about this program, and I made some progress, like a lot of progress in the first few days. And so I was hopeful that this is it. This is it. I found it. I spent £750 and this is it. So I got an email. Daniel, are you recovered? Yes, I'm recovered. But of course, I just improved. And that most people do that, but just 80%. And I don't know how they measure this. I don't know how they do this. But I was far from recovered. In fact, I got even worse. So I thought I was 80% recovered, but I thought that my health was at 80%, but in fact it was much lower. And I started going back to life, but the triggers and the root causes of my chronic fatigue syndrome were not solved at all. And they didn't teach me, they didn't handle me any tools like I provide in the alignment recovery program. So I came in touch with lots of triggers that could help me trigger the cause again of chronic fatigue syndrome, and that happened. And I developed these negative emotions, like sadness and stress and anxiety and all these kind of things. But and the program is just about stop. I don't do this. Do happy things instead. So I did that. And for anyone who is frequently repressing emotions, some side effects might be a panic attack. And I developed panic attacks, and it didn't last long for me to be worse than before chronic fatigue syndrome. At the same time, I had this YouTube channel telling people to do the lighting process, and I'm still, I'm still not against it, but I'm not for it as well. And they were like angry on me, telling me that I could not recover, and that I never had chronic fatigue syndrome in the first place. But there I was back at rock bottom again, thanks to as well the practitioner that I used to call, and he was telling me that I did things wrong. I didn't do it right, because if I do it right, it would work. And these stories are on the internet, all over the internet. People who actually kill themselves because they thought they were going to recover. Their hopes were high up, and then turns out it's just not for them. Some things that they taught me was to, rule number 3, use big, dramatic, congruent language. That is, being an exaggerative actor of reimagination things that you want. If they can do it, I can do it. So it's really, it's a helpful tool, Yet, if you sell this as the cause of the solution for everything, without really treating the cause of chronic fatigue syndrome or whatever problem there is, then people get disappointed. And people got disappointed on my website. On my YouTube channel, there were so many comments about people saying that this is a money-making scheme, and I actually think that, well, Phil, if you're watching, I think that the way that you set up this financially is the sole reason why this is not a success. It's not worldwide. I think it could have been like a major player in the world, but this is how I see it, and. The financial system is basically, for me, based on greed and lack, and therefore it's stopped from developing into a tool, and it's just a tool. And if you sell this as the magic pill, then people get disappointed as well. So it could be seen as a money-making scheme, maybe a little bit, yeah. Still, I'm still grateful for the things that you've learned me, Phil, but. Yeah, I'm sort of like flipped, you know. Is it positive? Is it not? It didn't really help me in the long run. Yet I knew after my rock bottom phase again that it was easier to get back to it, but I did not really know how, and I would have liked more tools. And for those of you who want more tools, like I offer on my website a neuroplasticity techniques and language, how we talk to ourselves, and really dealing with the root foundation of accessing the sympathetic nervous system and the addiction to stress chemicals, and lots of other calming tips, much more than in this book, because the whole process is in the book. Like everything you do in a course is in here, and the only thing you miss from this is group dynamics and an instructor. Yeah. So yes, well, this is actually I think the end of my review from the lining process, and for the ones that, well, I think I made Phil Parker pretty rich with my YouTube movie, so I think you have had enough from me. But I understand that, and I wanted to make it right because people were having serious comments, and they were right, and I had to address it. And I don't think it's a bad thing, the lining process. I think it's a helpful tool, but not more or less. Take care, everyone. Happy healing, and I hope this helped. Goodbye.